right, everyone, thank you so much for being here and welcome to this board meeting for the town of Poughkeepsie for January 21st, 2026. It's my honor to call the meeting to order, and we will begin with a salute to the flag.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we will begin with roll call.
Good evening, Bill Reuter, First Ward.
Hello, Barbara Laird, Second Ward.
Shanta Tangaya, Ward 3.
Emily Watson, Ward 4.
Good evening, Ryan Sharp, Fifth Ward.
Ann Shershin, Sixth Ward.
Felicia Salvatore, Town Clerk.
Emily Spencer, Attorney to the Town.
Rebecca Edwards, Town Supervisor. So we have no public hearings tonight. Just one announcement, which is that we are having a meeting this Friday, 2 days from now, with some members of the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie and City Council members of the City of Poughkeepsie and Mayor Yvonne Flowers to talk about issues. It's really a workshop meeting from 10 to 2. The Heartwood Inn is going to be hosting so that we can talk about issues of transportation, housing, and other things where the city and town can look for ways in which we might cooperate and introduce ourselves to each other. That will be publicly noticed. It's publicly noticed and it will be observable. There's a Zoom link. There will be some chairs there for people who might want to be there and observe, but also there'll be a Zoom link for anyone who wants to participate. All right, moving on from there. I would just also like to say thank you. It is awfully cold out there. Thank you all for being here tonight. And thank you also to our highway department that's out there plowing, and to our police officers, to everyone who's a town employee who's been out there keeping the town running under cold conditions. And it looks like, oh no, more snow. We're not done yet. So, okay. I just wanted to move to suspend the rules for 3 minutes for anyone who might want to speak on items that are on the agenda tonight. So moved.
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries 7-0. Okay, so the floor is open for anyone who's in the room or on Zoom who might like to speak to any items that are on tonight's agenda. Is there anyone in the room? Okay, seeing none. So, okay. Welcome.
Hello, my name is Kelly Lappin, Ward 3, 2 Regency Drive. I'm just wanted to express my support for the programs and the offering that you guys have for the town hall and the police station. I feel like it's really a different offering than was offered several years ago. 2 of the key issues from several years ago have been solved. One is that Boardman Road gets crowded. It's hard to get any car through it, and obviously with the school there, school buses and traffic lights, it's not a place to put anything that needs emergency access. The other reason is that the flow and the connection of all the various parties that are there. In the previous offering, the police and the courts were going to be mixed up with people in the community and with children at camp. In this past proposal, there's a very clear set of flow of people throughout all the various opportunities, through the various functions, and I thought that was really an exceptional thing, and I really give you guys a lot of credit for putting together a very well thought out plan. Thank you.
Thank you. We are voting tonight on legal services for that project, so we'll count that as being on our tonight's agenda. And we are also working on moving towards SECRA and tonight, and the schematic design for police courts facility to move into this site. So that'll be on our agenda tonight. I don't see anyone else in the room who wanted to speak. Doreen, online, welcome.
Thank you. I have a question about number 9, the contract with Labella. The amount where it says not to exceed, that is blank. Although Labella did offer 2 numbers, 211,700 or 219,700. Will you be saying what that number is?
Yes, we will. We have the total, and we'll go through each item when we get to that on the agenda.
Okay, and thank you. And then for number 13, those are tax certs. And again, I'd like to say that, whenever you lower the assessments of some properties in the town, the rest of the tax base has to pick that amount up, the reduction. This seems like a sizable reduction, especially for the one property owned by Arlington Capital Investors. Their assessment was cut in half. But the other thing I have to say about that is, since those are associated with Vassar College, will the supervisor, I know you've not participated and recused yourself from some votes before. Will you be doing that tonight for those?
So I am officially retired from Vassar College. I'm not required to accuse myself at this
Okay.
point. That's a
I
change
didn't-
since
I-
November,
I-
so, but we
Okay.
can speak more to those tax certs when we get to those items, so. All right?
Okay, and then, just my last thing was, is there, an hourly amount for number 10 for, the lawyers? I know he says, it says 20 hours for Boardman Road, up to 20 hours for, the Elks Club parking, but do you have the hourly rate for the lawyers? I didn't see that in there.
Yes, we do. I think we're extending from a prior agreement, and let's talk about that when we get to it as well, but I think we do have a number.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else who wanted to speak on items on tonight's agenda? Okay, seeing none, I move that we return to regular sessions. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The motion carries 7-0. Okay, so we are able to move on to the first item on our agenda, which I think is why many, many people are here for a happy welcome. Mr. Reuter?
Sure. Be it resolved, Town Board of Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby appoint Salvatore Montez Keatle to the position of full-time police officer under the provisions of civil service law at the starting yearly salary of $66,403.06, effective January 26, 2026, which appointment shall be subject to a probationary period as described in the rules for the classified civil service of Dutchess County, in effect as of the date of this resolution, and be it further resolved, supervisor is authorized to execute and file all documentation required by the Dutchess County Department of Human Resources in connection with this appointment. So moved.
Second.
All right. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? The resolution carries 7-0. Congratulations and welcome. You're going to raise your right hand and repeat after me. I
I,
state your name.
Salvador Montesquiti,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I support the Constitution
that I support the
of
Constitution
the United States
of the United States
and I support the Constitution
and I support the Constitution
of the State of New York,
of the State of New York,
that I will faithfully discharge
and I would faithfully discharge
the duties of
the duties of
police officer
police officer
for the town of Poughkeepsie.
for the town of Poughkeepsie.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations again. I'm going to give everybody just a second because I think there'll be some hubbub here and we'll move on to item number 2. Great to see everyone here. Stay safe and stay warm. Thank you for being here. Thank you.
Number 2.
Okay, yes.
Be it resolved, the Town Board of Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby authorize the supervisor to sign the 2026 Stop DWI Program Agreement, coordinated DWI checkpoints with the County of Dutchess, a copy of which is attached. So moved.
I can hardly even hear.
But we might need to do this again, sorry.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Let's give it just one more minute.
Maybe we can shut the.
We are authorizing the supervisor to sign the 2026 Stop DWI program agreement and coordinated DWI checkpoints with the County of Dutchess, a copy of which is attached. So moved.
Second.
All right, any discussion? All right, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The resolution carries 7-0.
I just didn't hear the second on that. Bill, second?
Who seconded that one?
First,
Bill,
second.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Resolution 3, be it resolved that Town Board of Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby accept with regret the resignation of Jessica Zulunga from the position on the Board of Ethics effective January 9, 2026. So moved.
Second. So Jessica has a lot of, has some personal and family commitments that so she's unable to do this. She is our deputy clerk, and she has been the employee on the Board of Ethics. And we need an employee who lives in the town of Poughkeepsie. So we're gonna need to replace her on the Board of Ethics with an employee who lives in the town of Poughkeepsie. Felicia, if you can help me brainstorm on that too, and Emily, make sure we don't forget that as the Board of Ethics does its annual work, we need to make sure we find a new town employee. And I thank Jessica very, very much for her service. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries, resolution carries 7-0.
Resolution number 4, be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby accept with regret the resignation of Rebecca Edwards from the City-Town Joint Water Board effective immediately. So moved.
Second.
Okay, this was because Shanta Thangia has very kindly agreed to join that board with Barb Laird, and I'm gonna move to the Tri-Muni Commission, so. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The resolution carries 7-0.
Okay, Resolution 5, be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby ratify the promotion of Ryan Cannella to the position of permanent full-time auto mechanic with the Town of Poughkeepsie Highway Department at the Teamsters 80% step salary of $31,480 per hour effective January 5th, 2026, which appointment shall be subject to a probationary period as described by the rules for the classified civil service of Dutchess County in effect as of the date of this resolution. The town supervisor is authorized to execute and file all documentation required by the Dutchess County Department of Human Resources in connection with this appointment. So moved.
Second.
And just to be clarified, that was $31.48 an hour, right?
Right,
Yeah.
I said
okay.
31,000.
No, you know, 31,000 an hour would be, we would have a lot of new town employees at that rate, just checking. Okay, good. And this is what we had arranged in the budget, in order to enable water and sewer trucks, as well as highway, the heavy trucks, the diesel trucks, to be serviced as much as possible in-house. So with this position, it'll save us some funds for having to send some of the trucks out for service. And Ryan will be able to help the Keiths in the highway department take care of a lot of the needs for our heavy trucks, which are getting a lot of heavy wear this time of year. Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Resolution carries 7-0.
Be it resolved, the Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby ratify the appointment of Tyler Songenberg to the position of permanent full-time MEO with the Town of Poughkeepsie Highway Department at a Teamsters 80% step salary of $25.95 per hour, effective January 5th, 2026, which appointment shall be subject to a probationary period as described by the rules for the classified civil service of Dutchess County, in effect as of the date of this resolution, and be further resolved that the town supervisor is authorized to execute and file all documentation required by the Dutchess County Department of Human Resources in connection with this appointment. So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Glad to welcome Tyler aboard. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The resolution carries 7-0. Okay, resolution number 7, be it resolved that the town board does authorize the supervisor and her designees, after consultation with the town engineer and other involved departments, to release and return developer's maintenance bond, $65,800, bond number 2241051, attached, with regard to the pump station generator and other public improvements called for on the South Hills Commons site plan. So moved.
Second.
Okay, I know this is in Ward 1, and I know Mr. Reuter has been involved in this one. It's been a long haul, but the town engineer now believes that everything has been done that needed to get done, and we're good to release the bond.
Nice brand-new pump station.
Yes, brand-new pump station. All right, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Resolution carries 7-0.
Okay, whereas by resolutions 31813 of 2020, 1118-9 of 2020, 616, special consent 2 of 2021, and 921-8 of 2022, Town of Poughkeepsie has accepted the MHTC Development LLC bill of sale and first and second and third supplemental bills of sale for non-realty sewer facilities and equipment at the Eastdale project on Route 44, Town of Poughkeepsie. Be it further be it resolved, the supervisor is authorized to accept the fourth supplemental bill of sale substantially in the form annexed for non-realty sewer facilities of Eastdale, subject to receipt of any required engineering certifications from the Town of Poughkeepsie Engineering Department, and consents to operate from the Dutchess County Department of Behavioral and Community Health. And be it further resolved, there is no secret review required, because this transfer involves providing sewer services to an approved subdivision. So moved.
Second.
Okay.
Okay?
All right, so this is as the development has taken place, sewer services, equipment built by the developer has been transferred to the town, so this is the latest transfer. Any questions, discussion?
This is gonna be the last one, just about?
I hope so.
I
don't know.
But I haven't
I
been
know
over there.
the planning board is on amendment number 138 or something like that. It's been a big one, so,
I don't wanna
so-
go over and look.
yeah, we can check with, Andy and make
okay.
sure.
All right.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The resolution carries 7-0.
This is resolution number 9, to authorize a contract with Labella for the police and court facility schematic design and environmental studies. Here at 1 over Rocker Road, we find that it's the best interest of the town to move forward with this planning and to advance design option 3 that was presented in the feasibility report dated January 9th. Labella Associates has proposed the next set of services to include schematic design of both the site and the building interior, along with environmental studies necessary for town's review pursuant to SECRA. These services are a type 2 action and not themselves subject to SECRA because they constitute preliminary planning. So be it resolved that the town board authorizes the town supervisor to execute a contract with Labella Associates for the scope of services in the attached proposal in a form acceptable to the attorney to the town, in an amount not to exceed $219,700, which shall be paid from the town's fund balance. So moved.
Second. Okay, and we do have a backup documentation that we can share and post with the minutes of the meeting afterwards.
Do you want me to itemize that?
That'd be great, and that includes the 3,000 and the 5,000 that are at the bottom. Do you see in the paragraph? Read the list and then I can add if you need to.
Oh, I see.
Yep.
So there's schematic design services. I guess that's AE is architectural engineering,
Exactly.
134,000. The site survey and mapping at 1 over Rocker is 34,000. The private utility stakeout and mapping is 4,300. SECRA is 6,000, or it's not SECRA, well, it's SEQR. Traffic impact study is $30,000. Elks lease area description and map is $3,400. That leaves a total fee to be authorized as $211,700. But due to the stormwater management plans, Labella says we will probably need to do the infiltration testing. And if we want to include that, it's an additional $3,000. And there's also reimbursable expenses as part of schematic design. Our proposal did not include a budget amount for reimbursables. However, I think you might want to budget around 5,000. So then that brings the total up to 219,700.
Right, so for this means that we move to the next phase of design over the next 10 weeks or so. on moving the schematic design for moving the police courts into this facility and do all the other things are necessary for SECRA for stormwater and traffic and other assessment for putting the police and courts at this site. So a total of up to $219,700. We will probably at some point soon need to bond for the rest of the work being done here, but this way we can move forward with this schematic design and SECRA work for the next 10 weeks. And we can't move to bond until we've gotten to SECRA, so.
And I did include this in the packet later today, so it's.
Oh,
thank you.
it's up there.
beautiful. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mary.
Yes, because
Yes,
Doreen
thank
had
you,
mentioned
Mary.
the two numbers. I was like, how does she know those two numbers? Great.
Okay. All right, perfect. All right, any further questions, discussion? Okay. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Resolution carries 7-0.
Resolution 10, authorize, authorize legal services of Zerin and Steinmetz for police court and town hall relocation project, whereas the town has engaged the law firm Zerin and Steinmetz at various times for their real estate expertise, and whereas both the town hall relocation project and the police court renovation require legal services for real estate transactions, now therefore be it resolved that town board authorizes the town supervisor to engage Zerin and Steinmetz for up to an additional 20 hours of legal services beyond the previous authorization relating to the purchase of property on Boardman Road for the town hall, and be it further resolved that the town board authorizes the town supervisor to engage Zerin and Steinmetz for up to 20 hours of legal services relating to contracting with the Elk Club for a parking area associated with the police court project. So moved.
Second.
Oh, I believe Bill seconded first, so we had several seconds. So I just wanted to clarify, this follows up from a prior resolution that the town does not purchase real estate on a very regular basis. We need a specialized form of legal expertise. We have signed the letter of intent with Poughkeepsie Day School, and we are exploring the possible contract and purchase of that process, of that property without having gone through a real estate broker. So we are not having to pay fees for a real estate broker as part of that transaction, but it means we really definitely need to mind our P's and Q's and have a very good lawyer who has the special expertise in real estate. David Cooper, who has done some work on Hudson Heritage and other projects for the town, is terrific. We are paying a higher rate than we usually do for legal services for this particular work, but if we're going to invest in these buildings and in the Elks Club contract and so forth, we need to get it right. So we're paying $495 an hour. We're capping the total number of hours, and David was very good at flagging when he got to 18 hours in the first 20-hour block, and we're making sure that we're not just, writing an open number of hours here, and I think this will be enough to complete all the work.
I think actually the rates are different for different members of the firm, and so some are lower than that also. And
Okay.
there's a discount applied for a municipal discount.
We do get a municipal discount, yes. We are doing a lot of due diligence on the Poughkeepsie Day School site. That's not on our agenda much tonight, except for this. But there are some leases over there that are pretty complicated, and we are making sure to not only complete the building condition survey with CPL, the town engineer, but also working very hard to understand those leases and what the implications are for the cell tower, the solar array, the various tenants who've been using parts of the building. And I want to thank Lydia Slaby from Emily Svenson's Gordon and Svensson firm, who's been digging into those leases, and David has also been helping us with that. So I want to make sure we get it right. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The resolution carries 7-0.
All right, Resolution 11, whereas by Resolution 710, number 14 of 2019, the Climate Smart Communities Task Force was created consisting of 8 members. The task force makes considerable state suggestions, providing the town board with information about climate smart initiatives, proposes new ideas, identified funding for projects, and the town board wishes to increase the members from 8 to 12. So the town board hereby does increase that amount from 8 to 12. And the town board does hereby reappoint Susan Kearns-Hecht and Feza D. Oktay as the co-chair positions of the town of Poughkeepsie Climate Smart Task Force. Be further resolved that the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie does hereby reappoint Joan Freeman, Richard Levine, Mark Murray, Thomas Lynch, Kirsten Taylor, and Barbara Laird as on the Climate Smart Task Force, which appointments will expire on January 17th, 2027. That the town board does hereby appoint Mike Mullally, sorry, Stuart Keys and Malvinia Holloway on the Climate Smart Task Force, which appointments will expire on January 17th, 2027. So moved.
Second. Okay, we need a friendly amendment here. Barb, do you want to
Sure.
jump in?
We are moving things around a little bit at the beginning of the year, and I am going to step down as the town board liaison, and Shanta Tangaya is going to take my place. And I guess we have to do another resolution someday of where I go.
Actually, this is a unique
Oh.
task force. All the other appointments for liaisons from the board are supervisors' appointments, so you're already welcome to jump in and
I
be
am-
the liaison for the Conservation Advisory
I'm
Committee.
going to be on
Right.
CAC.
And
correct.
Shanta is going to serve for the Climate Smart Task Force, but there's some alignment with some of your areas of expertise. And one of the nice things is that the Climate Smart Task Force and the CAC have had some overlap, and Barb, having served as the liaison on the CAC, can now bring her knowledge of what that group is doing to the task force. The task force is working incredibly hard. They're working toward helping us achieve silver status, which would unlock more grant funds from the state. And I want to thank every one of them, particularly Susan and Feza, who are tireless, but also every single member of the committee. They've divided up the work of applying for various points to get us to silver, and everybody's working really hard. I think the 12 members are justified because the state requires not only at least one board member from the town, but also town staff to be on the
Right.
board, and those liaison positions should actually be official appointed board positions, so we have both of those. Okay,
May I
Any-
just ask, there's a note in my file here about whether the chair position should have a date attached to it. I think the chair is probably for the year.
I think that we should also specify that as co-chair positions and their appointments will expire on January 17th, 2027. That's correct. So everybody is serving a one-year term.
Do we have to vote on each of the amendments?
Do we need to vote on those amendments, or can we take them as friendly amendments?
Usually, we take them as friendly amendments if they're little things like that, and if it's something that we really, need to take a vote on, then we will.
Got it, okay.
Unless there's any objection from a board member, we can take it as friendly amendments, so. All right, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The resolution carries 7-0.
Resolution 12, be it resolved that the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie does hereby adjust the holiday schedule for the assessor's office on election day to assist residents with filing exemption renewal applications as follows. Election day, November 3rd, 2026, changed to December 24th, 2026. So moved.
Second.
Okay. So a lot of people come here to vote at town hall, and so the assessor's office finds it helpful to be open on that day because people come downstairs looking for advice. And so we swap out every year so that they can remain open on election day when the rest of the building is closed, but the assessor's office is open to answer resident questions, and then they take Christmas Eve off. So we're gonna just do what we've done in the past. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Resolution carries 7-0.
Be resolved, the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie does hereby authorize the settlement of the tax surcharge proceedings constituted by Arlington Capital Investors LLC, owner of the properties located in the town of Poughkeepsie at 3 to 7 College View Avenue, 9 College View Avenue, 18 LaGrange Avenue, and 16 LaGrange Avenue for the 2025 tax assessment rolls as shown in the attached consent judgment, and be further resolved, the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie does hereby authorize the supervisor or her designee, the town assessor, Maureen McGilmartin, and Kyle Barton of Vanderwater LLC to sign such papers as necessary to effectuate said settlement. So moved.
Second.
Okay. I'm not sure, Maureen has given us a statement to go with this, and there's more we could say about it. There's been a significant, reassessment in the property due to, environmental issues, that the site faces. I'm not sure how much is public, honestly. But I know that the prior assessor, Jennifer Munn, was in a lengthy conversation over the value of the assessment and felt that this was the right path forward. It's not, it's obviously a significant discount in the value of the property. But it is due, I know, Ann, this is in your ward, and you're
Yes.
aware of some of the issues that they're facing. In terms of coming forward with a proposal for what they would like to do to redevelop those parcels, they have had to take a hiatus to look at the environmental contamination issues that they're looking at over there. And that is the reason for the tax cert, that's the reason for the tax cert settlement, so. I think Mike Welty's on the call, if anybody had questions. I know he's been in touch with the Arlington Capital Investors, but I don't know that we've heard recently from them. But if people had questions, we could talk with him.
So is that true on the three of them consistently? Because they all seem to be pretty big 50% reduction, so that's all in the same
Yes,
area?
it's all, yes, they're all connected together, and the idea is to redevelop them all, as a single project. So,
Okay.
and I think we'll hear more about that coming up. Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Resolution carries 7-0. Oh, this one's mine, sorry. Be it resolved that the town board does hereby authorize the settlement of the tax cert proceeding instituted by College Properties LLC, owner of property located in the town of Poughkeepsie, designated with these tax grid numbers on Raymond Avenue, 12 and 10 LaGrange, for the 2025 tax assessment rolls as shown on the attached consent judgment, and be it further resolved that the town board does hereby authorize the supervisor or her designee, the town assessor Maureen Gilmartin and Kyle Barnett of Vanderwater to sign such papers as are necessary to effectuate said settlement. So moved.
Second.
Same situation, these are related to each other, so. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The resolution carries 7-0.
Be resolved, Town Board of Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby authorize settlement in the tax certiorari proceeding against instituted by KNC Management, owner of property located in Town of Poughkeepsie, designated tax grid 50 Raymond Avenue for the 2025 tax assessment rolls as shown in the attached consent judgment. Be further resolved, Town Board of Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby authorize supervisor and or her designee, Town Assessor Maureen Gilmartin, and Kyle Barnett of Vanderwater LLP to sign such papers as are necessary to effectuate said settlement. So moved.
Second.
Okay. The last thing I'll just say is that I hope that this, what they're doing now in pulling these parcels together leads toward greater valuation in the future, toward a redevelopment and considerably more tax revenue and housing and other things in this area, but we're not there yet. So, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The resolution carries 7-0.
Resolution 14, we are setting a public hearing for the 18th of February, 2026 at 7 p.m. here at Town Hall, to consider the adoption by local law of an amendment to Town Code Chapter 91 entitled Electrical Inspections. The proposed local law is attached here, and the town board does waive a verbatim reading of said amendments and does direct that they be spread across the record as if they in fact had been read verbatim. It's a local law is a type 2 action pursuant to SECRA requiring no further environmental review. And said local law, if adopted, shall take effect immediately upon filing with the Secretary of the State. So moved.
Second.
Okay, we are streamlining section findings and purpose, streamlining and improving our procedures for appointing and enforcing the duties of certified electrical inspectors. Also making it possible to put more electrical inspectors on the list. So, Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The resolution carries 7-0.
Resolution 15, whereas Town Board has received an application from South Hill Owner LLC requesting a zoning text amendment of the South Hill Center SHC district related to the proposed reuse of the empty Burlington Coat Factory building at the Shoppers at South Hills as a self-storage facility. Tax parcel number starting 6158, located at 1875-1895 South Road in the town of Poughkeepsie, consisting of approximately 72.62 acres, and whereas the proposed zoning text amendment, Exhibit B of the petition submitted with the application is attached here to the incorporated hearing, and the town board does hereby waive the verbatim reading of said amendment and does direct that said amendment be spread across the record as if it in fact had been read verbatim. And whereas the proposed zoning text amendment was received under the New York State SECRA, and the Planning Board as lead agency for environment review of the project issued a negative declaration on January 15, 2026, and whereas a written recommendation was received from the Dutchess County Department of Planning and Development dated October 16, 2025, stating that the proposed code amendment is matter of local concern, and whereas a written recommendation dated January 16, 2026 was received from Town of Poughkeepsie Planning Board, in which said board conveyed a neutral recommendation to the Town Board regarding adoption of the year-end code amendment, and whereas amending the zoning code requires a public hearing. Now, therefore, be it resolved that 1, the Town Board hereby set a public hearing on the proposed zoning text amendment for February 18, 2026 at 7 p.m. or as soon as hereafter as the matter may come to be heard in the Town Hall, 1 O'Rourke Road, Poughkeepsie, New York. And 2, the Town Board direct the Town Clerk to provide a public notice of said hearing per Town Code Section 210-156. So moved.
Okay. Second. So just because this is going to be a public hearing and because we have some new board members here, if you look at Exhibit B, you'll see that, so this is a property that was identified in the comprehensive plan as a very good area at the South Hills Mall for redevelopment, including potential mixed use and housing. There has been some conversation with the owners about that. The proposed, there is a need to generate revenue on the property now. The proposal has been to put self-storage in the back where the former Burlington Coat Factory was, around the back. But that the zoning change only allows the adaptive reuse of existing structures. It would not permit the construction of new buildings for self-storage facilities on the site. So the idea is that this enables that Burlington Coat Factory site to become self-storage, but that we're continuing a broader conversation about a broader reuse of the site. So that's what will be the subject of the public hearing.
Right, so, thank you, Supervisor. Just for clarification, then, we're referencing the 72.62 acres, but this zoning change does not encompass the entire parcel. It's referencing only the Burlington Coat Factory use at this time.
That's a really interesting question. I think the zoning change applies to the whole parcel, but the zoning change is limited to the use of current buildings on the site and not any new construction for self-storage. And the intention, with the assumption that I don't think they would want to put 8 self-storage facilities on the same site, would be just Burlington. But I do believe the zoning change, Mike Welty is online.
It's a zoning text amendment, so it's not a zoning rezoning, it's a zoning text, so I think they're adding self-storage into that. area. I think that's.
The 70 acres is the entire parcel, and so the zoning applies to the entire parcel. And actually, that zoning district really is just that, South Hills, the former South Hills Mall, the shops at South Hills. And so but it would only be for, as the supervisor said, for redevelopment purposes, so. And the Burlington is the project, that they're actually pursuing.
So the intention is to permit self-storage at that Burlington Coat Factory site, but not elsewhere on the site.
And this company came and spoke to us and showed us plans, several months ago.
Yes, before the new board members came, there was a discussion and they made a presentation. And there is, there's been an ongoing conversation about much broader redevelopment of the site in line with what the comprehensive plan proposed. But that's hopefully down the line.
But I always thought this was a good idea because it has a very low environmental impact. They're basically just changing the signage outside and redesigning the inside, so it's gonna have very little environmental impact. And why let a building sit empty? It's good to have it generate income, and it still amazes me how popular these storage units are, but they are. So, and it's in the back, it's not really detracting from people coming into the shopping center. It's not like it's creating a dead zone in the front of the shopping center. It's in the back and it'll be convenient for people to use back there. So I always thought it was a great idea. And I like to see that is just limited to the existing building because, we don't want the building at 5-story storage unit behind it. So, good idea.
I'm sort of also puzzled by the extraordinary amount of self-storage that everybody seems to need, but it's still, people still want to build it, and it fills when they build it, so.
Okay.
All right.
Very good.
All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The resolution carries 7-0, so that public hearing date is set.
Resolution number 16, be it resolved that the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie does hereby authorize the supervisor to sign a valet parking agreement, grant of permanent easement for municipal sewer purposes, stormwater management facility inspection and maintenance easement and agreement, and sidewalk maintenance agreement, and any supporting recording documents in regard to the Salt Point Center project located at 53 Salt Point Turnpike, Poughkeepsie, New York, in substantially the form attached, and be it further resolved that such acceptance and authorization by the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie is subject to the approval of all final documents by the town attorney, planning board attorney, town engineer, and the director of municipal development for the town of Poughkeepsie. So moved.
Second. Okay, this is a project in Ward 4 that's been in front of the planning board, so might want to take a look at that. And this enables us to do the municipal, to work with them on the municipal infrastructure. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The resolution carries 7-0.
Resolution 17, the Dutchess County Department of Planning and Development presented the draft Schatz Brownfield Opportunity Area Plan to the town board on October 22nd, 2025. And Dutchess County recently submitted the Schatz Plan, BOA plan, to the New York State Department of State, and requested designation of the Schatz site as a brownfield opportunity area pursuant to General Municipal Chapter 24, Article 18C, Section 970. The Department of State requested that the town of Poughkeepsie provide a letter indicating its support of said request for designation. The town board of the town of Poughkeepsie does hereby authorize the supervisor or her designee to sign and send the attached letter requesting designation of the site as a brownfield opportunity area to the Secretary of State. So moved.
Second.
And there's a letter attached, January 13th.
Okay. This is an opportunity to create housing. Again, there was a presentation to the board some months back to create a mix of housing, including affordable housing and other mixed use at a site where it used to be a ball bearing factory. It was heavily contaminated, and a combination of historical and brownfields and other credits from the state on affordable housing credits are enabling this to move forward. It is a parcel on which taxes had not been paid for a long time, and therefore the county, I believe, is taking the lead on the project, and we are providing a letter of support, essentially, but the county has been taking the lead. Okay, All those in favor of me signing the letter?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, the resolution passes 7-0.
Be resolved, the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie does hereby authorize the supervisor to execute a 2026 dial-a-ride agreement extending said agreement from January 1st, 2026 to December 31st, 2026 with the County of Dutchess, with agreement provides a joint service transportation system for the general public with payments made by the town not to exceed $75,480. So moved.
Second.
Okay. This has been, I don't know if the Senior Services Committee has discussed this or not. Yeah.
I think it's died down. I mean, from what the volume was last year.
Okay.
Some of the incidents were that they had trouble with the new system of making adaptable changes. So if you had somebody that needed to go back to the doctor and couldn't make the appointment, they weren't gonna change the schedule and had to drop them off. One time, some person got dropped off in the cold on the street, and so that became, facilitated a meeting with the county, and a number of people were there, and I think it's pretty much, they've corrected a lot of that.
Okay.
So I haven't heard anything about any of the discrepancies or any of that, so I can check.
Yeah, I haven't either. We were, the cost has risen a lot.
Yeah.
But we have been in conversation with rec about whether this town could provide any such similar services, and there's no way we could do so for this amount. One thing is that they have the capacity for people with a disability, who may need a wheelchair or special access. You can't just, this is a kind of transportation that can't just be provided with an ordinary van. And that's not everyone who uses it, but some people who use it, and we would have trouble replacing that service. If you look at the chart, you see that we get service on parts of town. Monday, we get full day service on Monday and on Friday, and then part day service on, north side on Thursdays, south side on Wednesdays. But I did talk with Nate Smith, and we did not see a way that the town could cover those kinds of services. I mean, it'd be wonderful to offer the more, as you say, more flexible service. This requires reservations in advance, and it's not always available.
Well, I would imagine just paying for the insurance would be the most
Exactly.
expensive part.
Exactly, you'd have to have not only the equipment, but a driver and insurance. And so, it opens up some broader transit issues that we might want to talk about more, but for right now, this is providing a service to people who need transportation. If they schedule in advance for a medical appointment or something like that, that has been valued for a lot of people.
Do we know how many people use this service on average?
Yes, we do. I think on the chart it says, if you go to the very last page, it gives you the details. It tells you the number of days. No, actually, on here, it doesn't say how many. It says number of days, but it doesn't say the number of riders. We could find that out, though, because they do have, it's not here. It's pretty widely used. It's just that you have to plan well in advance, and it can only carry so many people, so many places, right? It has limits. But a lot of seniors and residents with disabilities have used it.
This is related to like medical related, or it's like a convenience, like people to travel from place A to B?
If you qualify to use it, you can use it for other purposes as well. You could schedule for a grocery store or something like that as well. It might be good for the Recreation and Senior Committee to talk about it further, to get reach out and get statistics as to how it's being used and who's using it, to see whether the problems that Bill was talking about have continued or resolved themselves. The interesting question for me is how many people call and can't get a spot, right? How many people would use more service if it were available? And I think it's a good thing for the Recreation and Senior Committee to discuss more.
I have a suggestion for, first I have a question. So the 75 grand that the taxpayer money is going back to the service for the people, right?
It goes to the county for the service, right?
Right,
So
but the services for the town of Poughkeepsie people.
exactly. Town of Poughkeepsie pays this much annually to the county of Dutchess to participate in Dial-A-Ride, and we get service on the mornings and afternoons indicated. We don't get, it's not all the time on weekdays, but we get service on Mondays, Fridays, and parts of Wednesdays and Thursdays in different parts of town.
I mean, I have a suggestion that this is something first time I hear. So it will be very interesting with some stats, like how many people using.
Yep.
And the amount we are spending to put it in the newsletter to,
Yes.
to the people so they know how we are spending the money, the
Yes.
taxpayer money is going back to
Yeah.
one.
I think that'd be useful. Could the Recreation Committee, Recreation and Senior Committee, which is combined this year,
Yes.
take that forward? That'd be super helpful and be happy for any recommendations. I mean, we're a large sprawling town. We're very suburban. We do not have bus service in most parts of the town. It's a challenge for people who are trying to remain in place age in place, as they say, or who are dealing with disabilities, to find transportation. And I think this is probably pulling on a thread there that's gonna be a much bigger cloth of things we should talk about. But this is a good start because it tells us what the current demand and usage is. Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The resolution carries 7-0. Are we back to me?
Yes.
Okay. Whereas as part of its this is resolution 19. Whereas as part of its tax collection responsibilities, the town collects tax payments for 3 fire districts and distributes payments to those districts. And whereas to ensure an efficient, fair, and accurate distribution system, the town of Poughkeepsie Comptroller has developed the attached procedure for disbursement of property tax proceeds to fire districts. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Poughkeepsie hereby approves and adopts the proposed policy. So moved.
Second.
Okay, so, I will want to be clear that for a long time, that the law requires us to disburse, the law says disburse immediately to the fire districts when we collect their taxes. We do the collecting and then we disperse it to them. There's a lot of latitude as to what immediately means. You obviously have to check the cash checks. You have to ensure that those checks are cleared. You have to make sure that the money transfers. It's got to get from the receiver of taxes office to the comptroller. And I just want to thank the new receiver of taxes, Nicole Giamatti, because we have BAS software in that office. And as a new receiver of taxes, she spent some time figuring out how to do something that the town has never done before in order to implement this policy, which is that each check that comes in, she will be able to run a levy report that will categorize of that check. If you come and pay your taxes, how much of that goes to the town, how much goes to the county, how much goes to the library district, how much goes to the fire district, and so she can give a weekly report to the comptroller. So if everybody in the Fairview district decides to pay their taxes the second week of January, and nobody in Arlington Fire District has paid yet or whatever, in other words, we're keeping track and we know exactly how much we will have collected on behalf of each entity. And that way we are able on February 15th and March 15th to disburse to the fire districts. It's hard for them to wait all the way till April and not get any funding, right? That doesn't really fulfill the legal definition of immediately, but we had to have an orderly system to disperse properly. We have a contract with the library district and others that work a little differently, but this is a starting point. And since there's 3 fire districts, needless to say, we have to be fair to everybody. So I think that this is a really good move to clarify and, to get those payments made timely. And just wanted to thank the receiver of taxes as well as the comptroller for making this happen.
Rebecca, do you know if that is a report that's run automatically, or do they have to, when they put the payment in, separate out the fire? Do you know?
I believe that BAS does the calculation.
Automatically?
Automatically.
Okay, because that's a big difference if
Yep,
it's something that they have to check, because I use BAS and some
Yep.
things you have to separate out, and that would not be a good thing.
No, it's not. This
Hopefully
this
it's a
happens
report.
automatically, but
Good.
you have to run, we had to figure out through BAS how to run a
They do have
particular
a
kind
very
of
good
report.
reporting system, so
Yeah.
hopefully it's part of that.
They were fantastic. They were really, really helpful, and I think this is an example of us having software that we're paying for in the town that can
Right.
do things that we didn't know it could do,
Right.
and now we are able to use that to get the payments made more clearly and have better record keeping. So, and we have done this quickly so that we're able to implement it for this year as tax bills are just coming in, so.
I have a quick question. having a fire district versus a fire, not having a fire department, what's the history of the town not having a department?
We have three different departments. We have Arlington Fire District, which is entirely within the town. This is part of the town, so this is gonna get me going on, but I'll try not to be too long. This town has so many different entities in it, it's crazy, right? We have we have all of Spack and Guilford of the school district and parts of three other school districts. We have 3 fire districts. One of those fire districts, Fairview, extends into the town of Hyde Park. So it's not just in the town of Poughkeepsie, but also serves a chunk of Hyde Park as well. And then in New Hamburg is the only place that has a volunteer fire department. And EMS is tied to the fire departments. I was just at the county executive's office this afternoon. We were wrestling with EMS and how we provide EMS, also in a very sort of fragmented kind of way, with a lot of mutual aid, but with a whole lot of different entities all over the county. And the county is trying to figure out if they can play a supplementary role and maybe move toward a county plan with 30 different municipalities, villages, towns, cities, all of whom want something different, and that's a challenge. So, so we've always had 3 different fire districts, and fire and EMS has been provided through those districts rather than through the town. The town could create a town-wide EMS district, but that's never been, that would be an enormous undertaking and would require a lot of negotiation with the fire districts. It's something that could be discussed.
Right, but the current setup, it's, for example, the residents pay the taxes for including fire, but then the service may be, the fire district have an obligation to serve sometime outside our perimeter, right?
They do mutual aid.
Yeah.
So, and that's a very complicated thing, but yes, when there's a call that comes in and the fire or the ambulance in that district is not able to respond, then neighboring districts do what they call mutual aid, which is, so Fairview is totally tied up with the fire in some part of the, or, an emergency in some part of the district, then they call in. And the county is now providing some supplementary help to also help when there isn't an ambulance available.
Right.
So.
Do they publish any kind of
Data?
Yes.
The county does. The county has a lot of data now. And I was told today that the data, the final quarter's data for 25 is forthcoming in the next couple of weeks, and I will share it with everybody. So it would be interesting to look at. So that's a whole meeting to itself. But for now, that's, we'll just try to pay the fire districts what we owe them for the moment. But there's a lot more to be discussed on that. It's a big issue, and it's one that's of concern to municipalities around the county and to the county itself. The state has now asked every county to have an EMS plan. And I'm not sure that this figure is right, but I think roughly 80% or more of calls handled by fire districts now are EMS, not fire. Because we have higher fire safety levels. Although everybody needs to be really, really careful with their space heaters, right, this time of year. But we don't have as many fires as we used to have. The bulk of the work is EMS. In New Hamburg, there's a volunteer fire department and then a separate ambulance service, so. Fine. That was maybe a longer answer than you wanted, but a shorter answer than I could give if we sat here talking for a half hour about EMS. We can come back to it another time.
Right, thank you.
Anybody else? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? All right, the resolution carries 7-0.
Okay, Resolution 20, be resolved, Town Board of the Town of Poughkeepsie does hereby accept the minutes for the following 2025 and 2026 Town Board meetings to wit: December 17th, 2025, Town Board meeting; January 7th, 2026, Town Board reorg meeting. So moved.
Second.
Okay, any alterations or questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Resolution carries 7-0.
The only thing that I have for notifications are 3 cannabis dispensary locations, and they're those notifications that we get to say, hey, we're looking at this spot. Doesn't necessarily mean that they're gonna be going there, and I think I emailed them back to you guys later today, but it's One is located at 805 Dutchess Turnpike, and then there's, the same person is also looking at 798, so it's the old diner, the old Arlington Diner.
Both of those are on Dutchess Turnpike?
Right, and then it's the little strip mall across the street, so.
Oh, yes.
So the same person is looking to open a cannabis spot in one spot or another. And then the other spot is at 1978 South Road, and I should have looked that up, I'm not quite sure where that's located. But these are just notifications. They don't really, I don't want to say mean much, but they have to notify the town that they're looking into an area, and then they would have to go through planning and all those other things if they do
We got
decide.
an alarming, stream of those for a while, like
Yeah,
dozens of
this is
people
the first
saying, right,
bunch in
yeah.
a bit, so.
Exactly, yeah.
But 3 in 1 week, so.
Okay,
1978 South Road is across from the Poughkeepsie Galleria Mall. Like right across from the Target. It's like,
In one of that, maybe that strip mall where there's
kinda next
rugs
to
or something.
Osho's.
where the Circuit City was a long time ago, but I'm dating myself, because
No,
that
not
was a while back.
That's the orthopedics. That's
It's
a
the
good,
orthopedics.
it's
Oh,
a
it's a
standalone building.
It's a standalone.
Standalone little building
Oh, okay.
on the other side of the Healy Chevrolet parking. It's like the Duchess Diner, the Healy, and then.
oh, I think I know exactly what.
Oh,
like
is that
a
that
little-
little
It's like
White House?
offset.
Yeah, I think I know what it is, yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
okay.
Okay, we are so notified.
You're
No events
notified.
coming up, everybody's hunkered down in their pajamas watching movies because it's too much snow and too cold.
Sleigh riding somewhere.
Sleigh riding, somebody should do sleigh riding, right, okay. Okay, then I would like to do a comment period for the public before because we need to go into executive session to talk about a couple of personnel issues. So I move to suspend the rules for anyone who may want to address the board on any issue. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? All right. Motion carries 7-0 and ready for comment. Doreen, welcome.
Thank you. I have a question about number 19, the fire district policy. Is there anything in that policy that will help to prevent the issue when there was an overpayment by millions of dollars to the Arlington Fire District?
Yes, that's exactly why we put the policy in place. Because there was a very informal system in place for many years, apparently, of the town not dispersing to the fire districts until April, and at least one fire district coming and asking for advances before that time, which seemed reasonable since the law said we should have dispersed it. And so that's not a system that helps everybody keep track of things well. So this system is in fact designed to make sure that we're paying on a regular schedule in a predictable way what is owed to each fire district.
Okay, so that should take care of that problem.
Yes.
Okay, and regarding the tax certs for, that were mentioned in 13A, B, and C, I'm not sure why you said you weren't sure about how much information can be talked about, but anyway, the DEC invited public comment about the brownfield application for that area. And if you go to the DEC website, you can look at their environmental remediation database and the ID number, if anybody would like to look at that. It's C as in Charles, 314139. And you can look at the details for that site. And any questions, they direct you to the appropriate office. So there is information out there about it being a brownfield application.
Okay, great, and that should detail the contamination in the area. So it's C314139 on the DEC's website if anybody wants to go and look, is that correct?
Yes, the environmental remediation database.
Wonderful, thank
And
you.
then my last thing was the question about the joint town and city workshop. You had said some members of the board, and that would be because you cannot have a quorum there?
No, actually, we could all meet if we wanted to, and we were hopeful that everybody could be there, but it's a daytime meeting between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m., and so people have other commitments, so we're not all gonna be able to be there. But it is publicly noticed. We have about 20 seats available at the site, the Vassar Institute for Liberal Arts, for the public to join us. There's going to be a little lunch break in small groups, just for people to meet each other and not and then we'll reconvene. But there's also gonna be a Zoom link for anyone who wants to observe.
Okay, thank you. And just one more comment about that. I am not sure that you can limit the amount of members of the public to observe if you have a quorum of the town or the city with meetings law. So your attorney may want to check into that.
Well,
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. We did look into it. We researched it pretty thoroughly, and it's just a matter of there only being so many seats. We don't have to, we can't require we can't provide an unlimited number of seating, but there is unlimited public observation through the Zoom link.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else? Was there someone else in here in the room who wanted to speak? Jimmy, welcome.
Jimmy Matrando, Ward 4. I was just wondering, twice a week, the Dial-A-Ride Duchess stops at Castle Point for bringing in veterans that don't have rides. Is this part of the same program?
It is, and I don't know how the Castle Point coverage is done. This is a county service, and different municipalities opt into it, and I don't know if Castle Point is part of the Wappinger, route and paid for by the town of Wappinger, or whether that's a separate service, but they provide that service to different entities that pay in.
Yeah, and they ask you to, a week ahead of time, make your appointment at least a week.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. It's the same, it's a great program.
It is,
I think
it really is.
the problem is it's oversubscribed and we could use even more than that, but it's good to have it. Great.
Thanks.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right, seeing nobody, then I move to return to the regular rules.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The resolution carries 7-0, the motion. And now, Resolution 121, be it resolved that the town board does hereby adjourn to executive session to consider the employment history of a particular person and matters leading to the appointment, employment, discipline, suspension, or dismissal or removal of particular persons. Be it further resolved that no action appropriating money will be taken during executive session. So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, the resolution carries 7-0. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.